Welcome to the laboratory. Actually, it's not a laboratory at all, it's my kitchen. But I am going to do a bit of an experiment in here. I don't know if this is going to work. I record drummers in here because it's got a solid enough floor. But the kitchen is very echoey. The conventional wisdom would be hang some blankets up, hang some carpets up, something like that, to deaden the sound down a bit. But it's not a bad echo, it's kind of real short, and you can get away with having it on the drums. It sounds pretty good sometimes. So the experiment I'm going to do today is I'm going to try and put this echo onto everything else and use the kitchen as an acoustic echo chamber. I've got these microphones set up more or less where I had them when I recorded the drums, and I didn't have a cat's dinner in between them then, but that's all right. The first thing I found out when I tried this was it's no good having the speaker and the microphones in the same room unless it's a big room or a proper echo chamber designed for it, but not a little room like my kitchen. You get too much sound from the original speaker and not enough echo, and you just can't separate the two. But there were two doors leading into the kitchen, and so I just put the speakers out in the adjacent rooms. I played everything that was going to be on the left-hand side of the stereo in through the left-hand door, and everything that was going to be in the right-hand side of the stereo in through the right-hand door. And if it was going to be on both, then I played it in through both doors. I got a separate track of each of these things to mix together later. And I wonder if they feed the cats in the echo chamber at Abbey Road or Capitol Tower. Well, they should. Okay, so then we take all those tracks out of the machine that recorded them in the kitchen, and we put them in the computer where we're going to mix the song. First of all, a word about echo for those who aren't really into it. Here's the count in for that recording. This is generated in a computer, so it's never been through a microphone or a speaker. There's no echo on it whatever, unless you're listening at home in a real echoey room. It sounds like this. Now, if that sound was loud enough and it travelled away and it bounced back off a building or a mountain or something, it'd sound like this. That's an echo. Or you might get several echoes. They sound more like this. Okay? But if you go into it like a subway tunnel or something and you clap your hands, you don't get, or in my kitchen, you don't get clap, clappity, clap, clap. You get a clapping sound and then you get a sort of shushing sound. I'll put the reverb on it. You get that? That's thousands and thousands of echoes all at once, bouncing all around the room or all around the subway tunnel or whatever. And it's called reverb. It's a kind of an echo, but it's called reverb. Now suppose the walls in my kitchen were further away. Suppose the room was bigger. The walls were 10 feet further away from the microphone. That means 20 feet that the sound's got to travel. 10 feet out, hit the wall, bounce back another 10 feet. And I calculate that that is going to take 17.9 milliseconds. So I can delay that reverb that I've already recorded by 17.9 milliseconds, and instead of sounding like this, it's going to sound like this. Say that the walls were 20 feet away from the middle of the room, or an extra 20 feet away from the middle of the room. That's 40 feet the sound's got to travel. If I delay the sound by, I've got my calculations here, 35.7 milliseconds, I'll make the room sound like it's another 20 feet bigger in each direction. So instead of that, I get. So we can make the room sound bigger by delaying that reverb. And it sort of fools your brain, you know, your brain thinks, oh, this guy's singing, his voice is bouncing off some distant mountain. He must have a real powerful voice. Actually, he's just whispering, and some sound engineers turned the echo up and delayed it a bit. That's about all there is to it, really. We just try each individual instrument, add the echo, take the echo away, keep working till we find the amount that sounds best, and mix it all in with the record. Here's a piano part. This piano part was recorded about 800 miles away. It sounds like this. Now, the actual echo only that I recorded of it sounds like this. Yeah? Put the two together, we get something like this. And that's too much echo, so we put a bit less echo than that. And when we get the right amount, we go, yeah, well, that's it. Mix it all into the record. The only last thing I'll say, if you're engineering a record and you're really into the reverb, there's every possibility you put too much. So you're probably best off turn it down to the smallest part that you can hear, then come back the next day and turn it down a bit more. I haven't taken my own advice with this one. I thought this one sounded, I don't know, it sounded all messy, but it sounded real rock and rolly, so I kept it. So if you want to hear the finished record, it'll be on a video clip on YouTube. It's called On a Slow Boat to China. Slow boat's 2 words. It's not like what the Africans mean by a slow boat. Well, maybe it should be. The hard part will be you'll have to be able to spell my name to find my version of it. But that's about it. There's one more thing I should tell you about this. Not every echo that you hear on every room's been made in an empty chamber or someone's kitchen or something like that. There's other ways of doing it. You could send the sound down a big wobbly spring or a big wobbly sheet of steel. That's how you get that sort of surf sound echo. And you could put it on a loop of tape and it'd go round and it'd go echo, 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 echo every time it went round the tape. That's how you get that sort of rockabilly sound, you know. Well, it's 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 for the echo tape, and away we go. I don't know if I'll ever do the kitchen one again. I suppose it'll always be on the drummers if I record them down there, but I've got lots of new electronic ones to play with, so the next song I record, I'll do it different. Just, it's like playing with a different train set. In fact, it's the best train set you can get.